Okay, great job, everybody. You finished the material, and hopefully you've had a chance to read the textbook, read our primary source on the Epic of Gilgamesh. Now we're going to get into the discussions. So you have two discussions every week. We have two discussions. They're due Friday and Monday. But of course, if you're reading this earlier in the week, you don't have to wait till Friday or the following Monday to turn in. You could do it early, and then that way it's out of the way. And that's what I recommend, because you never know what comes up, and you want to make sure you have time to do it so you don't have to rush. Now, so there's a couple things I just want to help prepare you with these discussions. First and foremost, read them. Even what I recommend is having a look at these discussions before you get into the textbook, or even before you get into all the material in the module, because then you know what to focus on and you kind of have an idea of what each question will be and how you can get information from that. So the first discussion on Friday is going to be largely focused around the material this week and the textbook, with the big theme of agrarian societies. This idea of people settling down and creating communities around the farming. And that develops very differently based on a lot of factors. And we looked at two different valleys. We're looking at Mesopotamia and the Nile valleys. And both of those, in a lot of ways, are similar. They are settling around the river valleys, and they're creating societies based around religious views and practices. They're with threats from the outside or environmental threats, and how they react to those things really affects their culture they develop, their own societies, and worldviews, religion included. So we're going to talk about that in the discussion, mainly on Friday. So that's going to be a large focus on your Friday discussion. Then your Monday discussion is going to hone in really deeply on Mesopotamia and looking at the Epic of Gilgamesh, diving in deep like an artifact and looking at that narrative, that story like an artifact, so we could see what society was like in Mesopotamia. So a large part of that, and the best way to understand that, is to compare it against something else. So compare what you're reading, what you're looking at with Mesopotamia, and comparing that with other ideas and things in the reading with the Nile River Valley. So that's going to help a lot. Then one of your questions is going to be what I call the Time Traveler's Guide. And this is a very useful tool to put yourself in the narrative. What would it be like in that society? What would it be like living in Mesopotamia? Or what would it be like living in the Nile River Valley? And how would the life there, how would your living in those areas be the same and different? And that, when you put yourself in there, and really use your imagination based on all the information you know about it, put yourself in the story. It really helps you understand history in a little different way. It helps you understand on a personal level what it would be like to be in there and in those shoes. So there's a question about that as well. My favorite thing about this is to learn from you, because your worldview, your ideas of how you're using the material is going to shine through. You'll see on the rubric, I want to know your views, but it needs to be backed up with claims and material from this week. So from the textbook, from the material of the reading, the videos, all that stuff, be sure to make it evident that you're using that. You could do a parentheses and a page number, or just make it very clear that you're getting the material, because that's a big part of the grade. And also don't forget to comment, because that is 5 points, and I really value you learning from other people in your small group, and I really value them learning from you. So that is rewarded by a major part of the grade. So that's always after the due date to give you a chance to read everybody's. Keep in mind, I always grade on Thursdays. I try to keep that Thursday. So, that if you can get everything done and comments done by Wednesday, that really allows time to grade and for you to get the most out of that discussion experience. All right, so 2 wonderful discussions going on this week, looking at Mesopotamia, Nile River Valley, and really focusing on what's happening in agrarian societies in these regions. All right, I look forward to hearing what you have to say.